Hey guys, today I'm going to go through my statement of purpose that I wrote for the JET program 3 years ago and give you some advice on writing your own. So the statement of purpose is probably the single most important part of your application because it's the only part of the application where you're able to speak for yourself and really make a good case for why you're qualified to go on the JET program. So before I go through my own statement of purpose, I'm going to give you guys 7 tips to keep in mind while writing your own. So number 1, this JET program has 4 clearly laid out and defined points that they want you to cover in your SOP. Do not submit it unless you have covered all of these points, or you're just going to have a bad SOP. Number 2, this should be a story more than a dry cover letter. It should let the judge know about your life. It should make the judge feel connected to you by the end of it and really feel that you are a good candidate. So don't just write it like a resume, write it like you're writing a story of your own life. Number 3, look at other statement of purposes, but do not copy them. It will sound unnatural and the judge will realize that you probably had a lot of outside help in writing the statement of purpose, which is not what you want to happen at all. You should use other people's statement of purposes as more of a reference on how they structure it, on how they order it, and how they're able to convey their own story. So it can maybe give you some advice, some ideas on how to do it for your own. Number 4, have as many people read your statement of purpose as possible. It's super embarrassing, I know, but you want to give this thing to your dad, your grandpa, your friends, and just give them a pen and tell them to be harsh. Even if they only look over it for grammatic things, that'll still be a huge help. Just, you want them to tell you if the story makes sense to someone who's not yourself. Number 5, you will have at least one rough draft, probably more. I think I wrote the whole thing from scratch 3 times over until I got a general flow that I was happy with, and that's okay. I think the first time you write it, you should just write it without paying attention to the page count and just try to get your ideas out there so that you can edit down the fluff afterwards. Number 6, check the grammar over 100 times. Run it through Grammarly or any other software you know of. Go through it, Google things you're not sure about. You are applying to an English teacher job, so if you have bad grammar, it's not gonna reflect greatly on you. 7, lastly, imagine yourself in the judge's position when you read over your statement of purpose for the last time. Would the judge think that this person is qualified for? These are things that are super important to consider, especially when you're writing something about yourself. You can forget that other people don't necessarily know your whole life story. It's important to detach yourself at the end and view your writing pretty objectively before you submit it. Alright guys, so I've switched over to my SOP Word document. So looking back at it now, there are a few grammatical things that I might change today, but this is the actual document that I did submit 3 years ago, so I didn't want to change it just to show off or something. Okay, wait. That was not there before. Okay. So I start off with saying exactly what I would do if accepted to the JET program, like a call of action, I think, or something like that. So I said I would strive to create a classroom environment that would get students excited about English. Then I said why, and then I said what I think the JET program is about. For the JET program, I think they really want you to understand that it's not just about teaching, it's about exchange. So I think the cultural exchange part is just as important, if not more important, than the fact that you will be an English teacher. The point is like to have a grassroots movement to get kids excited about, you know, America and England and South Africa, etc. So then I explained on what I would do if I was selected in Japan. And I did highlight that whole exchange thing. So the second paragraph, it's a bit unconventional from here on because I did make my whole second paragraph a story rather than just follow the traditional 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 question a paragraph type of thing. I think you should just take into consideration what you want to say, what you have to say, and adjust it. There's no cookie cutter formula to it, and I do think they'd like to see some originality. They just read these things all day long. So I was fortunate enough to study abroad both in high school and in college in Japan. And actually, this is a true story. I definitely wanted to highlight this, which is why I did dedicate a paragraph to it, because it really influenced my decision. So moving on a little bit more to the related territory, in the third paragraph, I said what I would do, or what I did do after returning to America the first time. I gave presentations, cultural exchange, blah, blah, blah. This just shows that I have already set a precedent for doing so, because this is the type of thing they would love to see Jets do upon returning home. So then I decided to talk about how the experience affected me, what I majored in, studied Japanese, etc., more personal talk. So really, I just wanted to show that I had a lot of consistency here, and that every time I did go to Japan, I would get something out of it and I would bring it back home. And while I was in Japan, I would try to really work on the cultural exchange part and even the English teaching part. So then here in the fourth paragraph, this is quite an important part, I think. It's what you will do after the JET program. So the JET program, I don't think they really want you to stay in Japan. They want you to go home so that you can talk more about the JET program to other people. So even if you do think you'll stay in Japan, like I ended up doing, just, phrase your plans without mentioning that. So this actually ended up being pretty much what I'm doing right now, except in Japan. And they want you to see that you're getting something out of the program. They know that you're not just going to come over and give. You have to get as well. So what will you get? How will this relate to your career? Is it just a completely random decision? You can't write it like that, even if it is. You have to connect it somehow. So ultimately, the JET program would empower me to strengthen my cultural understanding and lay the groundwork for me to eventually advance institutions that promote exchange and communication between Japan and foreign countries. Then I did this, keyword, I guess. Grassroots cultural exchange is a big point of the JET program. They love to see that. So then I just ended it with the experiences I would gain would influence my life for years to come. So yeah, really I think everyone's SOP should be different. If they all follow the exact same structure, it would be pretty boring, and it probably won't apply to your life like that. So don't be afraid, I think, to go a little bit unique if you'd like to. So lastly, I'm just going to scroll down through it. Feel free to pause the video and read it. Do not plagiarize this, please. Oh my god. But yeah, I hope this helped you out. Just another reference for you guys. Alright, so I hope this video helped you guys out in writing your own SOP. I hope to see you all in Japan next year, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe to see more JET program and Japan related content in the future. Bye!